Ever wondered how you end up buying that extra pair of shoes or the latest smartphone? It's not magic, but a process. A fascinating journey that begins with a need and ends with a purchase. This journey, known as the consumer decision-making process, influences every swipe of your credit card, and it's not just for marketers to decode, but for you, the consumer, to understand and master. So let's unravel the mystery of your shopping cart. It all starts with a need, or sometimes a want pretending to be a need. This is the crux of the first stage in the consumer decision-making process, recognition of needs. But what exactly does this mean? Well, it's the moment when you, as a consumer, realize that there's something missing, something that could enhance your life, solve a problem, or simply bring you joy. This recognition can be triggered by anything from an external stimulus like an advert or a conversation with a friend to an internal feeling of discomfort or dissatisfaction. The importance of this stage cannot be overstated. It's the spark that sets the entire decision-making process into motion. Without it, there would be no search for information, no evaluation of alternatives, and ultimately, no purchase. But let's bring this concept to life with an example. Picture yourself feeling unusually tired recently. You recognize a need for more energy, which could lead to researching healthier diets, exercise routines, or even vitamins and supplements. This is need recognition in action. But here's the tricky part: distinguishing between genuine needs and impulsive wants. We've all been there, thinking we need the latest gadget when our current one works just fine, or craving that designer handbag we saw on Instagram. So how can we navigate this and make wiser decisions? One strategy is to practice mindfulness. This involves taking a moment to reflect on whether the product or service will truly add value to your life or solve a problem. Another strategy is to set a cooling-off period. Let's say you give yourself 24 hours before making a purchase. If the product still seems as appealing after a day, it's more likely to be a genuine need. Lastly, consider the financial implications. If the purchase is going to strain your budget or put you in debt, it may be more of a want than a need. Remember, wise decisions start by recognizing real needs. So next time you feel that urge to buy, pause, reflect, and make sure it's not just a want in disguise. This way, you'll be setting yourself up for smarter, more satisfying purchases. With that said, let's move on to the next stage of the consumer decision-making process. But for now, remember, wise decisions start by recognizing real needs. With a recognized need, the hunt for information begins. This stage is all about research. It's the part of the journey where you hunt down the details to make the best possible decision. And it's important. The quality of the information you gather largely determines the quality of your decision. So, where do you find this information? There are two main types of sources. The first is internal, relying on your own knowledge and experience. Say you're looking to buy a new car. You might think back to your previous car and what you liked or didn't like about it. That's internal information. Then there's external information, which comes from outside sources. This could be anything from online reviews and ratings, to customer testimonials, to recommendations from friends and family. Sticking with our car example, you might read up on different models, check out their safety ratings, or ask a friend who's a car enthusiast for advice. Now let's talk about some strategies to make your information search more effective. First, be aware of biases. It's easy to pay more attention to information that confirms what you want to believe and ignore information that doesn't. That's confirmation bias, and it can lead to poor decisions. Second, don't rely solely on one source. Gather information from a variety of places to get a more balanced view. Finally, remember that more information isn't always better. Too much information can lead to analysis paralysis, where you get so overwhelmed by the options that you can't make a decision. So, be selective in the information you gather. Let's bring it all together with an example. Imagine you're planning a holiday. You start by thinking about previous trips you've enjoyed. That's internal information. Then, you look up destinations online, read reviews, and ask friends for recommendations. That's external information. You're careful to avoid confirmation bias, gathering information from a range of sources, and you're selective in the information you take on board to avoid analysis paralysis. In the age of information, being a savvy searcher is a superpower. Now comes the face-off, the battle of alternatives. At this juncture in the consumer decision-making process, we're greeted with a plethora of options. It's like stepping into a boxing ring, where each contender is a potential purchase, each vying for your attention and your hard-earned money. This stage is the evaluation of alternatives. It's the process of comparing and contrasting your options based on different attributes and benefits. The goal is to find the best fit for your needs. Think of it like this. You're in a bookstore. You've narrowed down your search to 3 mystery novels, but you can only buy one. You might evaluate them based on the author's reputation, the synopsis on the back cover, the book's length, or even the cover art. The importance of this stage cannot be overstated. It's the bridge between information gathering and purchase decision. It's where you weigh the pros and cons, where you decide if the benefits of one product outweigh the drawbacks of another. Now let's talk strategy. How can you effectively evaluate alternatives? First, prioritize your needs. What's most important to you? Is it price, quality, brand reputation, or something else? Once you've got that figured out, you can start comparing your options based on these priorities. Second, don't rush. Take your time to thoroughly examine each option. Remember, a hasty decision often leads to buyer's remorse. Third, seek out unbiased reviews and opinions. This could be from friends or family who've used the product or from online reviews. These can provide valuable insights that you might not get from the product description alone. And lastly, always keep an open mind. Just because a product is popular doesn't necessarily mean it's the right choice for you. Sometimes, the best product is the one that caters to your specific needs, even if it's not the most well-known or widely used. So remember, the evaluation of alternatives isn't just a stage in the decision-making process. It's a skill, a strategy, and most importantly, it's your safeguard against regretful purchases. Evaluating alternatives is your ticket to making smart purchases. Finally, it's time to make the call. To buy or not to buy? That is the question we grapple with in Stage 4. Purchase decision. This is the point in our consumer journey where all the research, the comparisons, the evaluations, and the soul-searching culminate in a decision. To take the plunge or to hold back. Let's delve into what influences this decision. Factors such as price, quality, convenience, and brand reputation often come into play. For instance, consider the last time you bought a smartphone. Did you go for the latest model with all the bells and whistles, or did you opt for a more budget-friendly, yet functional version? Perhaps you chose based on brand loyalty, or maybe it was a recommendation from a friend. These are all elements that sway our purchase decisions. It's important to remember that the purchase decision is a significant step in the consumer decision-making process. It's more than just handing over cash or clicking buy now. It's a commitment, a statement about who we are and what we value. So, how can we make sound purchase decisions? First, we need to ensure we've done our homework in the previous stages. Have we recognized our true needs? Have we gathered enough information? Have we evaluated all the viable alternatives? If the answer to all these questions is yes, then we're on the right track. Next, it's essential to consider the long-term implications of our purchase. Will this product or service bring us lasting satisfaction? Is it worth the investment? Are we prepared to live with the consequences of our decision? And finally, let's not forget the power of our gut instincts. Sometimes, despite all the logic and reasoning, our instincts can guide us towards the best decision. Remember, the key to a good purchase decision lies in being well-informed, thoughtful, and true to oneself. It's not just about acquiring a product or service, it's about making a choice that aligns with our needs, wants, and values. A well-informed purchase decision is a buyer's best friend. Scene script: purchased, but is the journey over? Not quite. Welcome to the 5th and final stage of the consumer decision-making process, the post-purchase behavior. This is where the consumer reflects on their purchase decision. It's a critical stage because it informs future buying decisions and can significantly impact a brand's reputation. Imagine this: you've just bought a new smartphone. You're excited, but once you start using it, you notice the battery doesn't last as long as advertised. You're experiencing what we call cognitive dissonance, a fancy term for buyer's remorse. This feeling of discomfort can lead to negative word of mouth, which can damage a brand's reputation. On the other hand, if the smartphone exceeds your expectations, you're likely to become a loyal customer and even recommend the brand to others. This positive outcome is known as customer satisfaction, the holy grail for any business. So how can you manage post-purchase behavior? First, set realistic expectations about the product or service. Make sure the advertising, the product description, and the actual product align perfectly. Second, provide excellent customer service. If there's a problem, address it promptly and professionally. And finally, ask for feedback. This not only helps you understand the customer's experience, but also makes them feel valued. Post-purchase evaluation, the final piece of the decision-making puzzle. It's not just about making a sale, but about creating a satisfied customer who will come back for more.